I, 52 never thought I'd be in this situation, but here I am. My wife, Lisa, passed away 3 years ago from cancer, and it's been a struggle to move on. We were high school sweethearts, married for 28 years. I still remember the day we met in our sophomore year. She had just moved to our town, and I was assigned to show her around the school. From that first conversation, I knew she was special. We started dating a few months later, and it felt like we were meant to be together. After high school, we both went to the same college. It wasn't easy, we had to balance our studies, part-time jobs, and our relationship. But we made it work. I proposed to her on our graduation day, right after we received our diplomas. The ring I gave her wasn't anything fancy, just a simple gold band with a small diamond. It was all I could afford at the time, but Lisa loved it. We got married a year later, in a small ceremony in her parents' backyard. It was a beautiful day, filled with love and laughter. We were young and broke, but we were happy. Over the years, as our careers progressed, I always felt a bit guilty about that small engagement ring. On our 10th anniversary, I surprised Lisa with a new ring, a 1-carat diamond set in white gold. Her eyes lit up when she saw it, and she wore it every day after that. We have 2 children, my son Tyler, 24 and my daughter Mia, 21 Tyler was always closer to his mom. They shared a love for cooking and would spend hours in the kitchen together, trying out new recipes. Mia, on the other hand, was more of a daddy's girl. She and I bonded over our shared interest in photography. When Lisa was diagnosed with cancer 5 years ago, it felt like our world was falling apart. We tried everything: chemotherapy, radiation, experimental treatments. Tyler put his college plans on hold to help take care of his mom. Mia, who was still in high school at the time, struggled to balance her studies with the stress at home. Lisa fought hard, but in the end, the cancer was too aggressive. She passed away in her sleep, with all of us by her side. The last few weeks before she died, she talked a lot about the life we had built together. She often played with her engagement ring, telling the kids stories about our early days. After Lisa's death, we all struggled to cope. Tyler threw himself into his studies, finally going back to college. Mia became withdrawn, spending most of her time in her room. I tried to keep the family together, but it was hard. The house felt empty without Lisa's laughter. I started wearing Lisa's engagement ring on a chain around my neck. It became a source of comfort for me, a tangible reminder of our life together. Sometimes, when I'm having a particularly hard day, I hold on to it and remember all the good times we shared. Recently, Tyler told me he wants to propose to his girlfriend Ashley, 23 They've been dating for 2 years. They met in college. Ashley was Tyler's lab partner in a chemistry class. At first, I was happy for them. Ashley is a sweet girl, and she's been good for Tyler. She's helped him come out of the shell he retreated into after his mom's death. But then Tyler asked if he could have his mother's engagement ring to propose with. He said he wanted Ashley to have a piece of his mom with her. I was taken aback. The thought of giving up the ring hadn't even crossed my mind. I told Tyler I wasn't comfortable giving him the ring. I tried to explain how much it meant to me, how it helps me feel connected to Lisa. I told him about the day I gave it to her, how her face lit up. I said that maybe someday I'd be willing to pass it down, but right now it's too soon after his mother's death. Tyler got upset. He said I was being selfish, that his mom would have wanted him to have the ring to propose with. He argued that it should be treated as a family heirloom. I stood my ground and said no. To my shock, Mia sided with Tyler. She said I was being unfair and that I should let Tyler have the ring since it would mean so much to him. She brought up how Tyler had put his life on hold to help care for their mom, implying that he deserved the ring more. I tried explaining my perspective again, but they both accused me of being stuck in the past and not letting them move on. The argument got heated. Tyler stormed out, saying I cared more about a ring than his happiness. Mia followed him, giving me a disappointed look. I was hurt that they couldn't understand my position. The ring isn't just a piece of jewelry to me, it's a symbol of the life Lisa and I built together. It represents all the challenges we overcame, all the happy moments we shared. Later that week, I got a call from my mother-in-law, Beth, 75 Apparently, Tyler had told her about the situation. Beth and I have always had a good relationship. She was incredibly supportive when Lisa was sick, often staying with us for weeks at a time to help out. But this time, Beth was angry. She berated me for not giving Tyler the ring. She said I was dishonoring Lisa's memory by being so selfish. She brought up how Lisa had always said she wanted her jewelry to be passed down to the kids. But Lisa had never specifically mentioned the engagement ring, at least not to me. I'm at a loss. Am I really being unreasonable here? The ring is one of the few tangible reminders I have left of Lisa. I wear it on a chain around my neck most days. It comforts me to have it close. I understand Tyler wanting to use it for his proposal, but I just don't think I'm ready to give it up. Lisa and I never discussed what to do with the ring if one of us passed. I always assumed I'd keep it. Tyler is now refusing to speak to me. He won't answer my calls or respond to my texts. Mia is giving me the cold shoulder too. She's living at home while finishing college, but she barely says 2 words to me at dinner. Beth keeps calling and leaving angry voicemails. She's threatened to tell the rest of the family about how selfish I'm being. I'm starting to question if I'm in the wrong here. I suggested to Tyler that we could go ring shopping together. I offered to contribute money towards a new ring for Ashley. I even said we could look for a ring similar to Lisa's. But he said it wasn't the same and accused me of trying to buy him off. This whole situation is tearing our family apart. I miss Lisa terribly, and now I feel like I'm losing my kids too. The house feels emptier than ever. I find myself talking to Lisa's picture, asking her what I should do. Am I the asshole for not giving up the ring? Should I just give in to keep the peace? I could really use some outside perspective here. I want to honor Lisa's memory and do right by our kids, but I also need to take care of myself. How do I find a balance? Update 1. Thank you all for your comments and support. I've read through everything and spent a lot of time reflecting on the situation. I wanted to give you an update on what's happened since my last post. After reading your responses, I realized I needed to have a serious talk with Tyler and Mia. I invited them over for dinner last week. At first, they were reluctant to come, but eventually agreed. I spent the whole day preparing Lisa's favorite meal, lasagna with garlic bread. It was the first time I'd cooked it since she passed. The familiar smells in the kitchen brought back a flood of memories. When Tyler and Mia arrived, there was an awkward tension in the air. We ate in near silence for the first few minutes. Finally, I took a deep breath and started to speak. I told them how much I missed their mother, how the ring helped me feel connected to her. I shared some stories about our early days together that I'd never told them before, like how Lisa and I had our first kiss on the Ferris wheel at the county fair, or how we'd stay up all night talking on the phone even though we'd see each other at school the next day. To my surprise, Tyler broke down crying. It was the first time I'd seen him cry since the funeral. He confessed that he'd been struggling with the grief of losing his mom more than he'd let on. He said he thought having the ring would help him feel like she was still part of his life in some way. He talked about how much he missed cooking with her, how he still sometimes picks up the phone to call her before remembering she's gone. Mia also opened up. She said she'd been feeling guilty for not spending more time with her mom before she passed. She was in her senior year of high school when Lisa got sick, and she admitted she'd sometimes use schoolwork as an excuse to avoid the difficult reality at home. She thought supporting Tyler's request for the ring might make up for it somehow. It was an emotional conversation for all of us. We talked for hours, sharing memories of Lisa. Mia brought out some old photo albums, and we looked through them together. There was a picture of Lisa and me on our wedding day, both of us looking so young and happy. Another showed Lisa in the hospital after Tyler was born, exhausted but beaming with joy. And there was one of all 4 of us at the beach, taken just a few months before Lisa's diagnosis. As we talked, I realized how much the kids were hurting too. In my own grief, I hadn't fully appreciated how difficult this has been for them. They lost their mother at such a young age, and they're still trying to figure out how to move forward without her. We cried together, laughed together, and remembered Lisa together. It was the first time since her passing that we'd really opened up to each other about our grief. It was painful, but also healing in a way. In the end, we came to a compromise. I agreed to let Tyler borrow the ring for his proposal, with the understanding that it would be returned to me afterward. We also decided to have the ring replicated for Tyler, so Ashley could have a similar ring to keep. I'm going to pay for the replica as a wedding gift. Tyler seemed happy with this solution. He understood my attachment to the original ring better after our talk. He even apologized for calling me selfish, saying he hadn't considered how important the ring was to me. Mia suggested we start a new family tradition of passing down jewelry. She had a necklace that belonged to their mom, and she offered to give it to Tyler for Ashley to wear on their wedding day. It was a touching gesture that brought tears to all our eyes. As for Beth, my mother-in-law, I decided to call her and explain the situation. The conversation didn't start well. She was still upset and accused me of being stubborn. But as I explained our compromise and shared some of what Tyler and Mia had said during our talk, she began to calm down. Beth admitted that she'd been missing Lisa a lot lately. Her birthday would have been next month, and Beth was dreading it. She apologized for her harsh words and said she'd been taking out her own grief on me. We ended up talking for over an hour, sharing our favorite memories of Lisa. Things are still a bit tense, but I feel like we're on the path to healing as a family. Tyler is planning his proposal now, and Mia is helping him. They've been spending more time together, and it's nice to see them bonding again. It's bittersweet to see them excited about this new chapter, knowing Lisa isn't here to share it. But I like to think she'd be happy to see us coming together like this. I've started seeing a grief counselor to help me process my feelings. It's been helpful to have someone to talk to who isn't directly involved in the situation. The counselor suggested that we might want to consider family therapy as well, to help us navigate this new phase of our lives without Lisa. I'm grateful for all your advice. It helped me approach this situation with more empathy and understanding. I realize now that we were all just processing our grief in different ways. I'm hopeful that moving forward, we'll be able to support each other better. Lisa's ring is still around my neck, but it feels different now. It's not just a reminder of what I've lost, but also of the family Lisa and I created together. A family that's hurting, but healing. A family that's finding new ways to honor Lisa's memory while moving forward. Thank you all again for your support and wisdom. It's made a real difference in how I've handled this situation. Update 2. It's been a few months since my last update, and a lot has happened. I wanted to share the latest developments with you all. Tyler proposed to Ashley last month, using Lisa's ring as we had agreed. He took her to the same spot where Lisa and I had our first date, a little Italian restaurant downtown that somehow survived all these years. He told me later that he shared the story of the ring with Ashley, explaining its significance to our family. The proposal went well, and Ashley said yes. They were both thrilled, and Tyler said having the ring made the moment even more special. However, things took an unexpected turn when it came time to return the ring. Ashley had fallen in love with it and was reluctant to give it back. She argued that since Tyler had proposed with it, it should now belong to her. She said she felt a connection to Lisa through the ring, even though they'd never met. This caused a huge argument between Tyler and me. He sided with Ashley, saying that I had given him the ring for the proposal, so it was now theirs to keep. I reminded him of our agreement that it was only a loan, but he accused me of going back on my word. He brought up again how Lisa would have wanted Ashley to have the ring. Mia tried to mediate, but ended up getting caught in the middle. She suggested that maybe I should just let them keep the ring since Ashley was so attached to it. I felt betrayed. We had all agreed on the plan, and now they were changing the rules. The situation escalated when Ashley's parents got involved. They called me, saying it was tradition for the bride to keep her engagement ring and that I was being cruel by asking for it back. I tried to explain the sentimental value of the ring, but they dismissed my feelings. They even suggested that I was trying to sabotage Tyler and Ashley's engagement. Things came to a head at a family dinner last week. Beth had organized it, hoping to celebrate Tyler and Ashley's engagement. But the atmosphere was tense from the moment we all sat down. Ashley wore the ring, which upset me. When I brought up the subject of returning it, she burst into tears. Tyler accused me of ruining their engagement happiness. Beth, who was also present, took their side and said I needed to let go of the past. I lost my temper. I told them they were all being selfish and disrespectful to Lisa's memory. I reminded Tyler of the conversation we'd had, how we'd agreed this was just a loan. I accused Ashley of manipulating the situation, and Beth of stirring up trouble. I said if they couldn't honor our agreement, then I didn't want them in my life. I left the dinner early, feeling angry and hurt. Now, Tyler and Ashley are not speaking to me. Mia is torn, trying to maintain relationships with everyone. She's been calling me daily, trying to convince me to change my mind. Beth is telling other family members that I'm being unreasonable. She's even suggested that my grief has made me unstable and that maybe I need professional help. I've been replaying that dinner conversation in my head over and over. Did I overreact? Should I have been more understanding of Ashley's attachment to the ring? But then I think about how it felt to see her wearing it, knowing she had no intention of giving it back, and I feel angry all over again. I'm at my wit's end. I feel like I've lost not just the ring, but my whole family. Part of me wants to just give in and let them keep the ring to end this conflict. But another part feels like that would be betraying Lisa's memory and my own feelings. The grief counselor I've been seeing has been helpful, but even she seems unsure of how to advise me in this situation. She's encouraged me to think about what Lisa would want, but I honestly don't know. Lisa loved our kids so much, would she want me to give up the ring to make Tyler happy? Or would she understand my need to keep this connection to her? I don't know what to do next. Should I stick to my guns and demand the ring back? Or should I let it go for the sake of family peace? I'm afraid that either way, my relationship with Tyler might be permanently damaged. This whole situation has brought back all the grief of losing Lisa. I find myself talking to her picture more and more, asking for guidance. I've started wearing her old sweater around the house, trying to feel close to her. I know it's not healthy, but I don't know how else to cope. I miss the days when our family was whole, when we could solve problems together. Now it feels like we're all on different sides, and I don't know how to bring us back together. I appreciate any advice or support you can offer. I feel more alone than ever, and I'm struggling to see a way forward that doesn't end in more heartbreak. Update 3, I want to thank everyone for their continued support and advice. Your comments have been a source of strength during this difficult time. Here's what's happened since my last update. After much reflection, I decided to take a firm stand. I sent a formal letter to Tyler and Ashley, stating clearly that the ring was to be returned as per our original agreement. I explained that while I understood their attachment to it, the ring held irreplaceable sentimental value for me. I detailed some of the memories associated with the ring, how I saved for months to buy it, how Lisa's face lit up when I proposed, how she would twist it on her finger when she was deep in thought. I hope that by sharing these personal stories, they might better understand my perspective. To my surprise, this direct approach seemed to have an impact. Tyler called me a few days later. His voice was quiet and hesitant, so different from the angry tone of our last conversation. He was calm and apologetic. He admitted that he and Ashley had gotten carried away with the excitement of the engagement and hadn't considered my feelings enough. He said that reading about those memories of his mom made him realize how much the ring truly meant to me. Ashley also reached out separately. She sent a long email, apologizing for her behavior. She explained that she'd felt an unexpected connection to Lisa through the ring, almost as if she had her future mother-in-law's blessing. But she realized that her desire to keep that connection didn't justify disregarding my feelings and our agreement. She offered to return the ring immediately. However, the situation with Beth remains tense. She's still upset that I'm taking back the ring. She's been telling other family members that I'm being harsh and unforgiving. At a recent family gathering, which I didn't attend, she apparently spent a good portion of the evening discussing how my obsession with the ring was tearing the family apart. I've decided to distance myself from her for now, as her comments are not helping the healing process. Mia has been incredibly supportive through all of this. She helped Tyler and Ashley understand my perspective better. She reminded them of how Lisa had always emphasized the importance of keeping promises, which seemed to strike a chord with Tyler. She also suggested that we all attend a family counseling session to work through our lingering issues. Last weekend, Tyler and Ashley came over. It was the first time I'd seen them since the disastrous family dinner. There was an awkward moment when they first arrived. None of us seemed to know quite what to say. But then Ashley quietly took off the ring and handed it to me. "I'm sorry," she said simply. "I hope you can forgive us." We ended up having a long, honest conversation. I shared more stories about their mother and the significance of the ring. I talked about how Lisa and I had weathered tough times together, and how the ring reminded me of our strength as a couple. They seemed to finally understand my attachment to it. As a peace offering, I've decided to give Ashley a locket that belonged to Lisa. It's not as valuable as the ring, but it's still a meaningful family item. It's a silver heart-shaped locket that Lisa often wore. Inside is a tiny picture of Lisa and me on our wedding day. When I gave it to Ashley, explaining its history, she teared up. She put it on immediately and hasn't taken it off since. We're now working on rebuilding our relationships. It's not easy, and there's still some awkwardness, but I feel hopeful. Tyler and I are planning a fishing trip, just the two of us, to reconnect. It's something we used to do regularly when he was younger, but we've gotten out of the habit in recent years. I'm looking forward to spending that time with him. The replica ring is almost ready, and I'm excited to give it to them as a wedding gift. Mia is helping plan a small ceremony where we'll present it to Tyler and Ashley, making it a new family tradition. We're thinking of doing it on Lisa's birthday, as a way to include her memory in this new chapter of our lives. This experience has taught me a lot about communication and the importance of setting clear boundaries. While it's been painful, I think our family will ultimately be stronger for having gone through this. We're all learning to balance honoring Lisa's memory with moving forward in our lives. The ring is back around my neck now. Sometimes I catch Tyler looking at it, and there's a sadness in his eyes. But there's also understanding. We're both learning that it's okay to hold on to pieces of the past, as long as we don't let them prevent us from embracing the future. Thank you all again for your support throughout this journey. Your advice and encouragement have been invaluable. It's reminded me that even in our darkest moments, there are always people willing to listen and help. I feel like I'm starting to see the light at the end of this long, difficult tunnel. And for the first time in a while, I think Lisa would be proud of how we're coming together as a family.